Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Deckin Around Kickstarter Edition. Today, we're going to be taking a look at any decks that funded on Kickstarter in the past week, any new decks that have started on Kickstarter in the past week, and any decks that are going to be ending their funding within the next 7 days. But before we jump into it, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel.
Let's get into Kickstarter.
So let's get into Kickstarter. Congratulations to Elevation Playing Cards.
Crushed it.
Congratulations to Warrior Playing Cards by RJ.
Yeah.
Congratulations to Lit Playing Cards V2.
Docko.
And for the decks that are going to be ending in the next 7 days, make sure to check out the Natives Playing Cards, the Victorian Playing Cards, the Wolfram V3 Limited Edition Playing Cards, the Exodus Playing Cards, the Dark Kingdom Playing Cards, the Composers Playing Cards, and let's see what's up for this week.
All right, let's get into it.
First off, let's jump into the Blueprint Playing Card deck.
Man, I'm bummed out about this deck.
So
I like this deck. I think it's so dope.
So Steve and I took a quick look at this deck the other day. Before it was on Kickstarter, we checked out the creator's account, and we actually really liked the look of the deck. They already met their funding goal, so congratulations on that. The one thing that jumped out to both Steve and I, though, is other than their early bird initial one deck, which I still think was like $35 shipped, this thing is selling at $46 shipped for a single deck. To me...
That's signed. That's signed.
So they only have signed ones.
No way, really?
Yeah.
Go up. Really?
There's nothing up. Mystery card.
What?
Yeah. So
upsetting. It's very upsetting.
I mean, listen, I think it's an awesome deck.
The deck is dope. Like
the deck is really dope. It doesn't mention who's going to be printing it, but when I reached out to the creator, Enrica, she mentioned that she would be either printing through a UK company or through Cardamundi. I'm guessing based on the funding goal that it most likely will not be Cardamundi because it's a $2,100 funding goal unless they're printing 75 decks, and that's why it's costing so much through Cardamundi. But
at that price, yeah, she might be printing through Cardamundi.
Yeah, for a very short run of decks, quite possibly. There isn't much information either on the total print run, so I'm guessing that it's probably just going to be print as needed based on how the campaign goes. But even for an awesome deck like this, $46 for a single deck shipped is high, like very high.
Let's put this out there. Enrica, if you're listening to this video, your deck is so dope. I would want this deck to get into the hands of many more people. Many more people. You got to make this deck manageable and available price-wise for the majority of people that want to pay for it. And $15 a deck is the price point to hit, especially if you're going to go through USPCC, you're gonna be able to buy 1,000 decks, and that's at $3.50 a deck. So
yeah,
way more people are going to buy your deck. Your work is awesome, and I would love to have this deck, but I wouldn't pay $25 for it, $30 for it. Never mind $45.
Yeah. 25 shipped for 200.
I don't care if anything's signed. I'd rather pay less than have something signature.
Yeah. And again, I think that it all depends on the audience you're trying to reach out to. I'm assuming that Enrica has a pretty solid following that is going to be picking this up because they like her work, but trying to break into the community, the collectors community, definitely the price point's got to come down on that. But that being said,
foiled print, A5 foiled print.
Yeah. So
it includes one. Oh, that one includes one. Okay.
Yeah. Which again, though, like, that's almost something you want to do as an add-on to some extent, because if you are including that in that $49 price for 2 decks, then you're just upping the price there, when if it was maybe $30 for 2 decks and then a potential to add $20 for a foil print, you might get more people buying 2 decks at $30.
I would totally rock this deck. It's so dope, but gotta bring that price down.
Yeah. So... But hey, congratulations on funding out for
congratulations.
Yeah, congrats on funding for the first one there. Hopefully we see a V2 of this, because I do like the blueprint idea. I think it looks really good.
Yeah.
Next up we have the Riffle Shuffle, 666, Emerald Hellfire, and Purple Inferno playing cards. So this is the second release of these cards. The Emerald Edition, I believe it was, is a recolor on the original red, blue, and black. The purple is a new back design. I mean, clearly already crushed its goal, $26,000 with a $5,000 goal, basically. So, congrats to Riffle Shuffle on that.
To go into it. Everybody knows Riffle Shuffle; they crush it every time.
Yeah, I mean, and again, on the price point on this thing, you get 2 decks.
Yeah, they crush it.
2 decks for $33 shipped. So, I do have to say on this one, I really like the change in the back design on the purple. I almost wish that the purple back design would get redone in the black or the red, because I think I actually like it more than the original back design. But yeah, they did a great job with this one. I definitely think Riffle Shuffle already crushed it, but I wouldn't be surprised if they continue to crush it with this campaign over the course of its time.
As soon as they come out, they're going to come out with the gilded ones, obviously. As soon as those come out, they'll crush it even more.
Yeah, so definitely a good deck. A great looking deck. I know that got a lot of acclaim when it first came out too in the original color, so that'll be fun to see. Yeah. Next up, we have Contagion playing cards.
Bill Davies. He did the Wild Boar deck.
Yes.
And he also did the deck with Emily, the last one. The Time, was it?
Yeah.
Time or something?
Timeless.
Timeless. Yeah, maybe.
I think it was Timeless. Interesting. I like the colors of it. It's kind of like a lighter olive drab, which is interesting.
It gives it like that army feel.
Yeah. Again, I mean, I think this is something that always comes up is the people on courts. I actually like the little gas mask on that there, but I'm not I could go either way on specific people being court cards or not. To me, it doesn't necessarily change anything. I know some people are against it, some people are for it, and they like it. I like the recolor on this. Also, USPCC. Well, the recolor from Standard Court, sorry.
Oh, yeah. Right on. I'm like, what do you mean recolor? This is the first.
Yeah, so the transition from instead of a red for diamonds and hearts, using that like kind of, again, like it's not an olive drab, but like that kind of military-esque green. It's nicely done. Sure. $15 a deck, shipped. Perfect price point. Maybe, I mean, yeah, shipped, that's absolutely perfect, because really you figure $5 shipping on most campaigns, you're looking at this basically a $10 deck plus $5 shipping. I think that's awesome. 2 decks for $29, so it brings your price point down $1. I mean, again, not the first.
Gamblers, USPCC.
Yeah, exactly, not the first deck that Bill's done. Definitely a good one. A longer than usual campaign. I'm guessing he put this in for 40 days, but I'm sure he'll hit the goal. It's a cool looking deck, especially because it's in vein with some of the stuff we saw recently with like Uranium 52 and Biohazard 52, both kind of similar style to the deck in the sense of it being like post-apocalyptic in some capacity. So yeah, no, not a bad looking deck though.
Word.
Next up, we have these Mermaids, which I'm pretty sure this is a relaunch. Let's
check and see. Let's click on Marie Diaz.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is a relaunch. Yeah, funding unsuccessful.
But wait, it's a relaunch from a day ago. Or like 5 days ago.
Yeah, from a week ago. Nothing has changed from what I can see, which is a bit of a bummer, because usually when you get a relaunch, hopefully...
Well, I mean, we didn't talk about this deck last week, though, because it was within a week, so let's talk about it.
So no, we talked about this when it first launched a month ago.
That shows you how much I remembered.
Yeah. I mean, again, I don't think it's necessarily styled. This is very, like, Disney-esque. It's all, like, pencil drawing. I like the back of it. I think there's a lot of potential there. I don't necessarily know who's...
One-way design?
Yeah. One-way front, two-way...
One-way back, too.
Oh, yeah, it's a one-way back also. Again, I think this is more of going towards the art portion of the collector community than the collector community as a whole. Surely not for the Magic community or for the cardists. It's a decent looking deck. This to me, and it's funny because I know we talked about this last week where you said pencil drawing, or maybe a couple weeks ago where you said pencil drawings always feel unfinished. while I don't always feel that's the case, this one definitely feels unfinished to me for some reason. Um, $18 a deck plus shipping brings you to 23. Without knowing who's printing this, I don't personally think I'd back it. It's interesting, yeah. Which I don't know. 1 of 100. Are they limiting this to 100 decks, or is that just a render that shows it could be a limited deck? You know?
I think it's just
Yeah.
Because if you go up all the way, it's got a goal of 2,000.
When it's
Probably
goal of
not
2,000.
printed by anybody special, but
The one thing that did stand out to me on this one too, which I think I want to point this out because it's a terrible tactic. I noticed you mentioned stretch goals. Could you share some of the stretch goals with us? The response from the creator is, we will announce stretch goals once we reach our main goal. Like, guess what? A lot of people will back your deck because they're interested in stretch goals. You need to know your stretch goals and announce them from the jump, at least the first one or two. Like, you can't just come out the gate and be like, we're going to have stretch goals, because now I don't care what your stretch goals are. You've now made it so that I'm not invested in this project doing better than just meeting its original funding. So
right. You might as well have not have responded to that comment.
Yeah, or don't put the fact that you have stretch goals in it, because that's just as good as telling me that you don't have stretch goals.
Right.
Listen, I wish the project luck, but it's probably the same 37 backers on this one who were on the first try at it. Hopefully they can meet the goal this time, but like, this deck has...
The first one. Go to the first one. Let's check that one out.
43 backers. But they're also already $300 over where they were before. So
what's the price on the deck though?
Still the same $18.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nothing about the campaign from what I can see changed, except that they added the limited sticker to the tuck. To me, like, and maybe they added a little bit more information, but I mean, all things considered, this is lacking in information. But again, I think it's because it's not necessarily aiming towards the collectors community. So some things to be worked on there if it doesn't hit the goal when they go to launch for a third time, but I'm not holding my breath on that one yet. Next up, we have Tycoon Persona 5 Royal Playing Cards.
Next! Just kidding.
This is actually very, like, comic book-esque, which, like, I like the font. Very, very big indices. I don't know how I feel about that, but I like the font.
I think go up. Let's say that king. I think that's kind of cool if it had some more color in it.
Yeah, the body itself. I like the contrast between
comic-y. I like had just more color in the outfit would be kind of cool. But yeah, it's definitely comic style, and I think it could definitely be better. Oh, that's like a game.
Yeah, so they suckered us on that one. It's an interesting looking. I mean, listen,
how much is it?
Oh, let me take a look.
You're already gone.
Now, dude, it's like
25. Come on.
Yeah, $28 shipped because it's a card game. Pass.
People, come on.
Next up, we have the ornamental playing cards. So it's funny. The face on this, dude, it reminds me kind of the back of the Winterberries, like that very like.
It's very circuit-ish. It reminds me of like a circuit board.
Nah.
How much is it?
Limited to 100. $29 shipped.
Fucking people. Sorry.
You're fine. Yeah, 11. I mean, I get it. It's not based in the U.S., but limited to 1,000 decks. It's an interesting design. It really... I don't know if the central number is needed. It actually turns it into a one-way back unnecessarily.
Well, here's the thing. Like, I think it's cool because they're... Well, I mean...
Or a one-way front, but...
I wish the Jack, Queen, and King had some sort of human... I mean, not human, but like faces on it or some sort. Even like, instead of the round, like the J, Q, and the K, I think it could have been cool to have just like a head there. or
Yeah.
something. I like the aces. The aces are beautiful.
Yeah.
But I think for me, it's just it's got it's busy.
See, and I don't mind the fact that it's busy. I really like the back design. I think this deck has a
Yeah.
lot of potential.
The
One way
one
back though. Yeah, one way backs in front. Today's the day of one way decks, but again, no mention of
Dude,
who.
wait a minute. Look at how many pledges there are. Like how many things there are. There's only one. Like no, the pledge. There's only one or two.
Yeah,
You can only get one or two decks.
and it doesn't mention add-ons from what I saw.
And they only allow you. So they're actually limiting you to whatever ones you can get. So yeah,
That's because they want.
they want
So
to sell 1,000 decks.
yeah, but I'm going to be very honest about this, and we've had this discussion recently. We had it on the Deckin episode with Jackson. If you take a look at the majority of successful deck campaigns, excluding ones like Steve Minty or Jody Eklund, the really ones who draw on a huge crowd, you're always sitting around like that 400 to 700 number of backers. You literally limited a tier to 700 people. That's more backers than you're going to get on this deck. You would have been better off figuring out, limit that to 200. You now have 500 other decks that you can split between a half brick and a 3 deck tier potentially. And you would have done a lot better than this, because this is going to limit you to the amount of backers you're going to get. No one's going to. I mean, even if you maximize that, even if you come in and you say, best case, you're getting 400 people, you're getting 400 people who are backing one of these 2 tiers. You now have more. It's just not proper math.
It's $29 for a deck.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. And we see this time and time again. Like, so this specific campaign has a lot of issues. It's a lot of no-nos. A, it doesn't say who it's printing with. B, like, who's fulfilling it? Do we know who's fulfilling it?
Nope, nothing on fulfillment.
Nothing on fulfillment. You only have 2 different pledges that you can do. That's a huge problem. The minute you start limiting your pledges, your backing is going to be limited. And we've seen it with even brands like Pure Imagination with their current El Retro deck. Like,
yeah,
I think they're lacking on their funding for that campaign as well because of that reason. And you can't, people want to buy what they want to buy. They don't want to be stuck buying one deck. If they like it, they want to buy 3 decks or 6 decks, and you have to have the prices according to those packages as well. Nobody's going to, very few people are going to pay $29 for that deck.
In all things,
it can't be used in Magic at all. Nothing about that deck can be used in Magic. So it can be used for, like,
poker.
I mean, barely.
Actually, you can't use it for poker because, you're going to be able to see the edges probably of the red face cards. It's such a wide, like, to the border there. That makes it tough. So yeah, this is a collector's deck at best. Also,
it's collector's pricing with no collector's options like metallic ink, like whatever, So
yeah, oh well.
Think about for the campaign people that are looking to start a campaign is got to think about those prices. What about the Jungle Jumble?
That's where we're going to next. So
the Jungle Jumble.
I actually like the look of this deck.
I'm a fan of that green. I love that color.
I like the green. I think it's really nice. It's touching on a style that we've seen recently, the geometric animals, but it does it in a different way. It doesn't just focus on one animal, and it doesn't leave you hanging with just like, hey, here's an animal on the back of the cards, and then the front of the cards have nothing to do with animals.
Does it say who it's from? Because over on the right it says Zing Playing Cards, and then it says, I've been involved in the Magic community for the past 10 years. He runs an online Magic store in the UK, but Merrick Gig.
Yes.
Interesting. Never heard of him.
Yeah, he has. It looked like he actually launched something similar in 2017 that was unsuccessful, but it looks like he's redesigned it since then.
He just changed the back. Oh, wait, let's see if that's the same.
He changed the back. He changed the tuck. It looks similar, but I'm assuming there's been some rework to it. We'll give the benefit of the doubt on that one. and Merrick can weigh in the comments if he wants to clarify what the changes have been. I mean, I think people are always interested in the changes. That being said, I
Yeah, for sure.
think this is well done. The animals have that geometric feel without being unrecognizable, which is awesome. I like the fact that it's not limited to a single animal. It crosses bounds there. Spades being cats, diamonds being birds, clubs being reptiles. I got like really like thrown off by the chameleon there, which is hilarious. But yeah, clubs being reptiles and then hearts being primates. I think that's really cool. I like it.
Yeah.
It's definitely a fun deck. Ooh, I like the peacock as the ace of diamonds there.
No way, that Ace of Spades is fire.
Yeah, I mean, listen, this is a cool deck. And at the where are we at here?
I'm not a fan of the turtle one, but
Well, you
the
know,
tortoise.
it happens.
that
20. Good.
lion one is dope. The tiger,
Yeah,
so good.
22 shipped for a single deck from the UK. 34 for two brings the price point down to 17 a deck, so that's a little more reasonable than the 22 for a single.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's a good looking
Fun.
deck.
It's a fun deck.
It really is. Like, I mean, honestly, I could see this getting along great with kids. Like, I think kids would like this deck if you were trying to.
I think it's a fun deck. It's done playfully, and I like the jokers of the tree frogs.
Yeah, and I like the pips.
They look like they're cracked out, but they look cool.
Dude, I like the pips though too. I like how they have that like almost like the lighting makes them look like cut gems or something like that. Like they're really nice. The back's simple but cool looking.
That would look cool in a collector deck fan.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it definitely would. We'll have to see. Listen, it's a good looking deck. The price point's not bad if you get above that first deck tier.
A jungle jumble deck.
I don't.
Wait, go up. Oh, that's a drawing. Go ahead. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I just didn't. I'm looking for the who is printing up Cardamundi.
Nice.
Yeah. So again, the only other thing that I would be curious about is fulfillment. But again, the fact that he owns a magic shop and probably has shipped things. Yeah, like fulfillment, and that's one of those things where like if you have the experience, fulfillment doesn't necessarily have to be through Gamblers or Art of Play. If you understand what it takes to fulfill, by all means, self-fulfill.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no, dope deck. I like it. Good luck, Merrick.
Merrick.
Next up, we have the Paisley Royals.
Love it.
Yeah. Dude, this teal. I mean, listen, Dutch.
Dude,
Dutch
purple is amazing.
Yeah. Dude, well, Dutch Card House teased this so well from the jump. They know what they're doing. I mean,
I always have my Paisleys near me. I'm a big fan.
They're good looking decks. I like the fact that they're doing metallic inks on these. I like the fact that there's actually going to be foil. Like, they're really taking it up a notch from where they did with the original Paisleys. I think these look beautiful.
Dude, the Magic Paisleys are sick. Like, they have metallic ink on them, too. So here's the thing. I think they're beautiful. They're beautiful. I backed it. I think it's awesome. And, I mean, that's the one thing is if I back a deck, I really like it because I know I can get it cheaper after their campaign. So that tells you that I'm a big, fan of it. The only thing about the images, like the mock-ups, is it looks like it's foil.
So
and I want the purple one to be like foil from Cardamundi.
That would be sick. That would be really sick.
It's beautiful, though. I love the deck. I mean, obviously, they've done a ton of campaigns. They know how to do it. So
you know what I would love to see, and I'll even step that up there. Forget Cardamundi for the foil. I'd love to see the purple be a Lautrec deck.
That'd be dope.
Oh my god, that would be beautiful. The price point on this too, $21 shipped, but again, you're getting metallic inks, you're getting functional cards with a marking system. There's a lot of thought that's got into this. They're a good-looking deck.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one thing about their decks. They are a little bit on the pricey side, but again, they're coming from. Actually, is it Cardamundi?
Yeah, Cardamundi.
Yeah. So they have to be shipped from over there. So
sorry, no, USPCC.
USPCC. Yeah. So who's fulfilling it? Gamblers, probably.
Let us see.
Yeah, see, like even like their regular, God, that purple's so good.
They're going through
Yeah.
gamblers. Yeah.
Yeah, so just their decks are a little bit expensive, I think, but they're beautiful decks and they handle lovely, and they always have nice thin borders, which I love. But that purple one is so epic.
And that would be amazing if all the gold was foil. Maybe
Oh,
maybe
so
next
good.
one around. But no, I definitely like this. I backed it as well. So
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
yeah, no, nicely done there, Dutch Card House. They, I mean, listen, they crush it all the time. The only one I haven't been a fan of with theirs was the Leaves deck, and I think that still managed to do well. So
Yeah, I mean, I think they definitely have their style, and the only one that is like I'm like a huge fan of is that Paisley is just so sick. I love it. I love all of them. I mean, you want me to be honest? I think this is a perfect name for this deck because it's called the Thief, and I think it literally is very, very close to the Parlor deck
yeah,
by Gentleman
yes,
Wake and Stockholm 17. The
yeah.
back design is a little different, but if you put the Parlor deck right next to it, you'll see that it's super similar.
I mean, even to the
Even to the
border.
outside
Yeah,
borders.
the outside borders even are very similar. The feel of the
Yeah,
yeah,
let's
of
click
the
back. Let's get out
spade
of this
there.
one. We're done.
What's
I said we're done with this
I
one.
mean, listen, it's $22 ship for a single deck. It's interesting. There's a story behind it. I think the campaign's well done, but I think it's also one of those designs where someone probably did not look at what's been available in the community previously, or they just took inspiration very liberally.
Yeah, I
So,
mean, if you're in the community, like if you're in the COD community, right?
yeah,
It's I think who designed it? If you go up, who's the name under?
Labib Malik.
What is it? Labib.
He's a magician at the hotel that is what this deck is based on. So again, it
Oh,
very well could be, that he is not aware of the community as a whole, but that's where doing your research is very important. So, yeah,
yeah. I mean, I think he. I mean, he looks like a rad dude. Pretty pretty cool looking guy. I'm not gonna, I
yeah,
just think it's very, very similar. If you're a magician, if you've been around and you know cards, like
yeah.
the Stockholm 17 and Gentleman Wake power
Yeah.
deck.
So next up are these Western leather pattern gilded playing cards. Um,
Interesting. Leather pattern gilded.
Honestly, I don't know what color the gilding is on this, but based on the color of the cards,
Looks like bronze or something.
maybe. I just don't see this being a deck that needs gilding. I think it's cool that they tried to do a leather textured paper, like a paper that looks like leather texturing. But to me,
Look at
like,
that mandala. That mandala is pretty cool. What is that?
I don't know.
Is that like an ace or something?
We'll have to
I'm
scroll.
gonna be honest, it's kind of cool looking.
Dude, it's not a bad looking deck, but I think the gilding part of it actually turns me off from it. Also,
Agreed. I think it's pretty cool. Not my style, but that joke is beautiful.
$22 for
An uncut sheet.
no for the deck shipped.
Oh, that's for her. Gotcha.
So the ace, I mean, those aces are awesome. They're good looking aces.
They look. The cool thing about it is it looks like it is etched in leather, where it's
Yeah,
like thick lines. It doesn't look like it's super solid. It looks.
yeah, it
Yeah, it
looks like
looks
you like
thick.
branded onto leather. I really do like this deck. The price point's even not bad. I don't know if I care that it's gilded or not, and I'm wondering if it wasn't gilded, would the price point be lower?
Of course.
Well, yeah, I mean, rhetorical question.
Oh, that's the back, dude. That mandala is the back.
Oh, that's actually really dope.
That's a cool deck, dude. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm guessing though, based on the price point, that it's probably printed through. It doesn't even mention who it's printed by, but I'm guessing it's probably someone like MPC.
I mean, who even knows? It's
Yeah,
definitely by USPCC or whatever, but I think, yeah, I mean, it has a $2,000 goal.
yeah, dude, not a bad looking deck.
I definitely see it funding. I think it's a cool looking deck. I think if it actually comes across and looks that way, I think That was
Dude,
pretty cool.
if you get 2 decks, $19 for a gilded deck, like that's not a bad deal. As long as the deck doesn't handle like crap, like you got a good deal there, and it's a cool looking deck. I agree that back is phenomenal looking. So
I mean,
awesomely done.
chances are the deck's not going to handle very well. It's a gilded
Yeah,
non-USPC deck.
and fingers crossed it handles well enough. You know, it could handle enough for poker. So, and it's a cool like poker style deck. So next
Uh,
up is the palm
there's
tree
no color.
playing.
There's no color on it. Poker's not going to be fun.
I mean it is what it is. Next up is the palm tree playing cards. So I like this deck. I like this deck since I've seen it. It's got a very summer vibe to it. I think we've seen a lot of palm tree style decks over time. This, I think, steps it up to a point that, you know, does it well.
Coolest name, Sean McMagic. I like
Yeah,
it,
I'd assume that's not his real name.
of course. But his pricing, spot on. I don't know how
Yeah,
he's getting away with those prices using out of play. I
dude,
really don't.
I mean,
He's
probably
gonna
is not
lose money
making
for
much on
sure.
it. Yeah, I
Uh,
mean, yeah, like that's probably what it is just he's breaking even, if anything. So, yeah,
if anything, yeah.
$11 shipped basically for 2 decks. Like that's awesome. Uh his goal's a little high though, and I guarantee
What
you
is it?
that's probably to facilitate the lower price point on the decks themselves.
What's his goal?
$8,000 somewhere around there, 8,500.
Go down. What was the stretch goals?
Uncut sheet unlocked at 86.25, custom seal at 87.10, Art of Play premium thin stock at 9. Bird
Okay, so
Street.
let's. I don't think I'm almost positive that Art of Play does not have their own stock.
Now it's probably just Crushed Bee or Crushed Bicycle.
Yes, it is just crushed bee stock, I believe, or crushed bicycle, and it's just historically used by Out of Play, and that's the words that they choose. I don't think they have their own stock. Let's just get that out there.
If anyone knows for sure, feel free to drop in the comments and let us know.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I would love to hear it. I have, I've heard that Out of Play. I mean, that USPCC
Has 3 stocks, yeah.
only has a couple, yeah, like a few stocks,
Yeah.
and they don't, it's kind of like Illusionist with E9. It's actually B9, but it's just called E9 because it's Illusionist.
Yeah.
So it's not like their own stock.
Dude, this is a damn good looking deck though. Like the fanning on it is good looking. I
dig
love the colors. It's a
I dig
very
it.
summer deck.
At first, I wasn't feeling it, but I dig it. I like it. I like the trippy Woodstock vibe on the back. It's actually like that. You know those little sand things that you like turn over and they fall into place. It's kind of what it reminds me of. So like, I'm sure that that's what they were looking for. I think they crushed it. The price point, the deck is really cool. I love the top box. It would have been cool to see how much it would have been if it went through just gamblers. It probably would have been a lot cheaper. They probably would have made more money, and yeah, I dig it.
Yeah,
Good job.
it's good looking, and again, being made for Magic, obviously standard. The Daniel Schneider redrawn courts, so all relatively standard, other than the Ace of Spades and the Jokers.
$18 for 3 decks.
Yeah, well, that's the super early bird, and
Yeah, but you could still get it.
25 shipped. Yeah, no, I know that's crazy.
Dude, that's so good.
Yeah, the price point on this was phenomenal. I think it was $6 per deck for the early bird single deck. So that's awesome. I mean, at that point, you're definitely losing money at Art of Play.
A Clove Street press tuck. Why would you put Clove Street on a standard tuck? Is beyond me.
I think that was the stretch goal was Clove Street for the half brick box and the brick box.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Next up is the Sneakerheads playing cards. Interesting cross between two kind of collectors' hobbies, and I'm sure there's a lot of people within the playing card community who also like sneakers. Being a lower goal, again, I'm guessing that it's not being printed by USPCC or Cartamundi, but
There's
I also
actually nothing on it either.
Yeah.
Like there's no information in the. It's literally no pictures, no nothing.
Yeah. So to me, this has a lot of work to do. Just the cards. include stickers, a T-shirt. Honestly, like, guess what? Don't make dumb titles for your tiers. I don't want to have to read this whole block of text to know what I'm getting. Everybody loves stickers. Am I getting a deck and stickers? Am I just getting stickers? I've now gotten to the
Just
point
put a
where,
list. Just put a list in there. Don't make it a big long
yeah,
paragraph.
like, make it
And
as
you gotta have
concise as
pictures in
possible.
there, man.
Or like, dude, Flush and Burn, $555. I have no idea what I'm getting here, and I don't care enough to read it. So, a lot of
Well, you
work
don't know
needs
what
to
you're getting because there's no pictures.
a lot of work needs to go into this. Again, I like the concept. I think there's a lot of crossover between the two communities that you'd probably get people who would be interested in this. People like sneakers, but
There's no sneakers on it. Like there's no. It's just like the look of people who like sneakers. Maybe I don't know, but
maybe so.
there's, there's like,
It's kind of a stereotyping deck.
what's
That's
the back look like? Do we have to click on that video to watch it? Like what?
I don't. I'm not clicking on the video. I'll throw that out there
No,
right
that's
now. Yeah,
I'm not worried about it. I'm just saying. Yeah, you
yeah.
know.
But
All right, what's
these,
next?
yeah. Next up is the Animal X Playing Cards Lou Edition.
Oh, by Riffle Shuffle. I mean,
By Alexandru Marian Lordache. I apologize if I just butchered your name. Um,
Lodoc. Lodoc.
uh,
French.
I like honestly, I like the lions on the back of this one too. I'm familiar with this deck. I think it's got potential.
I think he's a cool guy. I've talked to him on Instagram. Super cool guy.
The backs are
Um,
dope. The faces are where it falls short.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the faces. Here's my only thing. It just really looks like a Riffle Shuffle deck.
Well, so also, and I know this has been communicated across Instagram because I've seen the comments. The color variation between the two is just too similar. Like, you need to make the what would have been the black, cards, the black suits darker,
Yeah.
and not just like a shade or two darker. Like, you're messing with it in a way that people aren't going to initially understand, spades, clubs versus diamonds, hearts. So you need to make that as easy as possible when you're trying to use alternative colors.
Well, look at this. Go down like a smidge. No, go up, go up, go up, so I can see those four right there. So check it out. So the spades and clubs are red and gold.
Yeah.
That's confusing.
Yeah.
I think it should be the other way around. I think that the diamonds and the hearts should have those colors in it, and the black cards should.
Be the more monotone ones, yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
that doesn't make. That's very, very confusing.
this touches on a point that I mentioned earlier too, where you see animals on the back of a deck and then they don't really translate through into the front of the cards.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of potential based on the back. I like it. I think the geometric lion there is just kind of badass looking. He looks like a badass lion.
Yeah.
The central
I think
part
it's
of it, yeah, it's got a lot of potential. I think the fronts need some work. If this doesn't fund, I hope it funds. If it doesn't fund, I'd say that's the area to focus on. Is thinking to do a little bit different ports. So
Yeah, I agree. I think it has potential. I think it just needs a little work, and he's a cool guy.
yeah,
I
dude, the
think,
price point isn't bad. $17 a deck for 2 decks shipped, 19 for a single deck. Like, it's
But here's the problem. Okay, here's the problem. Is it's a very Riffle Shuffle esque deck, right?
yeah,
Like with their fox deck, with like the owl, like it literally, and it's being printed on Katamundi. So it's a very Riffle Shuffle esque deck, and it's almost double the price.
yeah, very
And
true.
Riffle Shuffle is a much more reputable company, so you're putting out a deck that is very similar to their animal decks, and then you're charging double. So I think it's a great looking deck, but just definitely change up a few things.
Yeah. So, Steve, with that in mind, what would you be
Is that all
backing
of
this? Yeah, that's all of them. There were a lot of them, but we ran through them. What would you be backing this week?
Are we like considering how much the decks are, or just if we like the decks?
Either way.
So I really love that blueprint deck, but I can't touch it for that cost. I think the Royals for sure, the Paisley Royals, 100%. I think I think there are some cool campaigns. Obviously, the Riffle Shuffle campaign is a great campaign. Obviously, I'm not a fan of like devil stuff and bones and skulls, but obviously Riffle Shuffle. I think the Contagion deck is pretty cool. I'm just going to go on for a day here. So to shorten it here, like I think there was some cool concepts, not all my style. My style wise, I would say the Royals, the Paisley Royals. I think the palm tree is kind of cool. Yeah.
All right. So I agree. On the blueprint, I like the deck from the price point. I think it's too high at that price point. I mean, at that price point, I'd expect Cardamundi and some foil or embossing or something. I think at a more reasonable price point, it would open up a much larger market of potential buyers for the deck.
That deck, if it was priced properly and it was printed by a reputable company,
yeah, it would
crush. Be a
$15,000
deck. They'd make 15 grand on it easy.
Yeah. So, so I think I like the 666. I'd probably back it. I like the Contagion deck. I'd probably back it. Mermaids again just feels unfinished to me. I like the potential, but it's just not there for me. So the Jungle Jumble I really like. I think it's a dope looking deck. I like the kind of whimsical aspect of it. Paisley Royals, hell yeah. I love that teal. It's beautiful. I think the purple looks awesome. Even the red I like a lot.
So good.
Thief Deck Pass. Leather I like, but I'd like to know more about it. And Palm Trees, yes. Animal X, as it stands now, no. But I'd like to see where that goes because I do think there's potential based on the back. So
yeah, I think there's a lot of potential in this week for sure.
Yeah.
And I think like I said, there was some good campaigns that did it right, and there's a couple campaigns I'd like to see changed up a little bit so I could take part. What's that? Playing cards, but we didn't go. Oh, it's a print collection.
Yeah. So yeah, I think cool. I agree though. There was definitely a lot of potential this week. So hopefully we see some of these fund, and if not, hopefully the people who put these out take some time to think about why it didn't fund and maybe try again. I think they were cool decks. So cool.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, thank you very much, everyone, for tuning into another episode of Kickstarter edition of Deckin Around. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel so you get notifications on future episodes. We drop these every Monday, so make sure to keep an eye out.